And welcome back to spooky season. This is John Stark. Ooh. Favorite blind film critic of yours. And he's doing Paranormal Activity 4. They keep making them. Isn't that terrifying? To me, it is. So this is Paranormal Activity 4. I'm still having fun with flashlights in the dark. It's just like totally dark and me and a flashlight, like a good ghost story should be. And yeah, so I watched. Max has the franchise right now. I think Paramount Plus probably still does. I don't know. It was on Paramount Plus for a while, and I was like, I don't know. Paranormal Activity sequel is always just, I was like, that kind of defeats the purpose, since you know they're definitely not found footage. They didn't just find a whole bunch of like people who were running around their houses and recording stuff with camcorders and making them into films. So, Paranormal Activity 4 is, I don't know, it follows on what 3 was doing, which was like picking up on more on Katie, and trying to run with that so that way we were like linked back to the first film, and now there's this lore, and I wish I could care. I really do. The film does have audio description, but sometimes it was hard to understand where the camera was. Like, they would say things in the audio description, and I'd be like, yeah, but what is the angle that we're going for? You know, because it would say or show something, and then I'd be like, well, is that in frame of the camera? For example, probably really the best scene in the movie. And it sounds totally creepy to say that, because I was like, are we showing a kid in a bathtub? This is the scene? Anyway, so there's a kid in the bathtub. That scene, if you've seen the movie, effectively, but it had like the mother walking in and out, but I was like, are they using the laptop camera? Is there another camera in this fucking bathroom? Like, what else are they doing in this movie? I conceptually did not understand how we were watching. I was like, I think because at one point it says like the reflection in the mirror of the bathroom, like in the wall, like above, I guess above the sink. But I was like, but where is the camera? Like, how are we watching her? I just didn't understand some of the audio description choices, because it didn't make it clear enough as to like where the camera was, which is kind of funny because sometimes it was like abundantly clear, because this film loved to play with some, is so outdated immediately. Poor film. This film really invested in the Xbox Connect, which only lasted for like a short period of time as like a thing, and then Xbox stopped even packaging themselves with the Connect. So it's like, if you weren't around for that little bubble of time, now rewatching Paranormal Activity 4, you're like, what is a Connect? Like, you're just like, I don't even know what that is. I'm sure there are kids out there that are watching Paranormal Activity 4 going like, the fuck is that? What is that? It's a Connect. Is it something I'm supposed to have? Because it sounds cool, like, theoretically, but, like, it always sounded cool. Like, it was always like, oh, yeah, that'd be really cool. And then like, in practice, and then it, like, kind of worked. So, yeah, they use the Connect a lot, which I don't even, I was trying to understand. I was like, but you left it on. How is it recording again? You know, like, because I had it connected, I was like, I don't get it. Anyway, I was trying to follow, I think Ben is the teenage boy's name. Anyway, so this movie has this little creepy child from the Omen type vibe with Robbie. who is new to the neighborhood and comes in and befriends Wyatt, who's adopted into this family, and there's some ghost kid that they're playing with, and you see occasionally, and a lot of stuff is from laptops in this movie. To the point where I'm just like, they're just like walking around with their laptop in their hands. Uh, I feel like Paranormal Activity, as like a film, missed its generation, which is like right now. Like we should be making Paranormal Activity films now with iPhones. Like people who walk around making TikTok videos all the time, they should be the ones like making Paranormal Activity sequels because we're in this weird place where I guess they felt like people weren't doing that, and there wasn't like Vine or anything like that, so people weren't like just making content. So they're like, oh crap, what do we use to make the kids feel relevant? Laptops. Yeah, laptops. I was like, this film's getting dated. They don't have tablets, they have laptops. So yeah, and the cameras and everybody has a laptop. I'm like, this is a bougie family. They got money. Um, we mostly follow Alex, who's the older teenage daughter, who's trying to uncover this thing with her friend Ben, and the parents are just cannot be bothered, could not be less bothered to participate in this event. They're barely like in the movie. They just kind of like come in and out, and every time they're there, they're useless. They're useless. So, is this film scary? Not really. There are a couple things that they devised that are cool. So I'm not gonna tank the film. Like I thought the bathtub sequence was cool, um, but that's it's very limited. There are like a couple things. I thought it was cool to actually use the Kinect. I just thought it was a shame that they ended up using technology that would end up kind of going away. Be like if you watched a movie from the 90s and they found out a way how to use like Virtual Boy, and you're like, oh my God, oh Jesus, the poor film. Nobody even knows what that is anymore. The little thing that you had to like, it was like a tabletop thing. You put your eyes up to it, and it was like a 3D thing, and but gave most people a headache because anyway. I'm explaining this as a blind film critic. I did used to be able to say for a while, so I know what a lot of the context in which a lot of these things are. I'm blind now, but which is why shining a flashlight in my eyes is not as bothering as you would think it is for a period of time. Hopefully, it looks good on camera, though. That's what I'm worried about. Um, this franchise is just gonna keep going. I don't know how many more films there are in the Paranormal Activity franchise, but I'm gonna finish it. I know I've got at least Ghost Dimension and the marked ones because I remember those names. At some point, we stopped numbering them and we started putting putting names on them. So yeah, I'm ready for that. So um, but I don't know. Audio, like I said, with the audio description, I wasn't always clear where this stuff was. This one goes for jump scares far more than the other franchises did. And it goes for cheap jump scares too, the worst kind, where like there's something and then there's like it is accompanied by a loud noise. But the loud noise doesn't even make any sense. Like it doesn't even because in a cheap jump scare, it's never the thing that you actually think it's gonna be. Like it's never like actually like the ghosts or whatever. It's always like something else. So then you're like, well then what was that noise? Question mark. Hello. what what was the accompanying sound? Because the thing you just said happened would not have had that sound to come with it. It's like one time where I think like the cat like uh ends up being like the cat in front of the camera or something like that, but like the sound in front of it is like like and you're like oh my what I don't what was that sound? That wasn't a cat. Like that was just you just try to get the audience to jump scare, and you should be able to do that through solid direction, not through, you know, pissy sound design. So, uh, yeah, so I haven't been really hot on 3 and 4 here. 2 is okay. 2 legitimately also kind of feels like still found footage, whereas 4 feels like a stretch. 4 feels like they're having to use so many different cameras in this because they're, like, carrying around laptops and they have, like, cameras set around the house and, like, using a Kinect and stuff that I'm like, "How did they even how" okay, so if this was real, who pieced this film together? Who found all these things? Because I think some of these feeds are going back to Ben's house. So it's like you had to go back to Ben's house to then find the feeds and then put all of this together. Do you know what I'm saying? Like some of this stuff is like, I guess, recording statically, just like into some file, like 24 hours of footage. So you're like editing it together into this thing. Uh, like I don't even conceptually, it doesn't make sense because they're for the first time we don't have a person like who's like, oh, check out the camcorder. No, you got a bunch of kids like holding laptops. It's like, oh, I gotta go into the garage. Let me carry my laptop with me into the garage. Why? What makes you think you need your laptop in the oh, because it's the movie. Okay. Anyway, there are a couple of cool scenes, so I'll give this like a slightly, eh, a slight thumbs up, I guess. I actually kind of enjoyed it a little bit more than 3, maybe because I enjoyed the characters a little bit more than 3. I actually enjoyed Alex, even though she was totally acting. This character never felt real for me. But as a lead character, I was more engaged by Alex than I was in anybody who was in Paranormal Activity 3. So, there's something, at least. So I'll give Paranormal Activity 4 a C+. Yeah, it'll be a little nice, and I'm gonna put a little plus there next to it. But yeah, this is not. I'm not hopeful for the future of Paranormal Activity. I think it kind of dips heavily after the second film. Um, so I'll keep doing it though, and you stay here and click subscribe. Anyway, that's it for me, and I will see you guys on the other side.